Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a really fun spice pick in the Ultra League Premier Cup, Nidoking. Often overlooked in comparison to Nidoqueen, today this trainer is here to prove that Nidoking has some play as well. They are running Poison Jab as the fast move on Nidoking, and double ground charge moves with Sand Tomb and Earth Power. Since Nidoking is a great anti-fighter, they've paired it with Escavalier and Shadow Snorlax in the back. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Nidoking in action in the Ultra League Premier Cup. Picking up a dominant lead in the first match, Nidoking into Poison Jab Alolan Muck. Nidoking is double resisting these Poison Jabs and is now going for the Earth Power. This will be doing big damage if it lands, which it does, and Nidoking can easily tank this Dark Pulse and commit to the farm down. So Nidoking able to win the lead and leave with some energy. The fact that they stayed into that negative lead has me slightly worried that they could be weak to Nidoking in the back. They're going to be going for the Sand Tomb here, which they do, and then they're going to save switch into the Shadow Snorlax to check what the third is and save the Nidoking for that final Pokemon. The Walrein is actually deciding to stay in this matchup and start spamming out these Icicle Spears, as we know that combination of Powder Snow and Icicle Spear is incredibly deadly. Opting to go for the Body Slam bait, hoping for the shield, and they get the shield. Very nice bait there. Unfortunately, this is low enough where it will be going down. They're going to actually let the Snorlax go down and trust in Escavalier up a shield. Waiting the switch clock, since they switched and the opponent didn't, they bring in Escavalier, and the final Pokemon is Trevenant. So definitely not what I was expecting to see in the back by any means, as Trevenant has a pretty neutral matchup against Nidoking, but this will be tough as the opponent has high incentive to bait. They shield up, and they do get baited. That is really unfortunate. Farming up, again, probably going to be a bait. The opponent probably sees their only win con as needing to bait twice, but Escavalier is able to reach the Mega Horn. Mega Horn will be doing big neutral damage, will not KO. They switch into the Nidoking. Nidoking able to farm down. Nidoking able to reach the Sand Tomb. Is this going to be enough to take out the bulky Walrein? This is going to be close. It is not. Can Escavalier take them out? But the Walrein's going to move. Is this enough for the Earthquake? It is not. Just the Icicle Spear. Escavalier farms down, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Nidoking into Trevenant. This is a fairly neutral matchup overall. Both Pokemon are doing neutral damage, but unfortunately, here's where having a double ground moveset can be unfortunate because you can only hit 4 resisted damage. Nidoking's gonna farm up anyway, bluffing like they have a different moveset, go for the Sand Tomb, and they get the shield. On top of that, Sand Tomb, of course, will lower that defense, so these Poison Jabs are gonna start adding up more and more. They do shield the Shadow Ball, which is quite nice, and from here, looks like they're probably gonna try and go for a Sand Tomb plus farm down. They land the Sand Tomb. Can they get it? Yes, they're able to farm down. That is massive. And now in comes Swampert and going for the Earth Power. This will do a solid chunk of damage onto Swampert if it lands, which it does. And now they're going to save switch into Shadow Snorlax. Shadow Snorlax will get outpaced here, but they should be able to reach a Body Slam before Swampert reaches a second Hydro Cannon, and they throw right away. I love this play. This puts a ton of pressure on the opponent to give up the last shield or to lose that energy on Swampert. They do commit the last shield. They're going for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon lands, and the final Pokemon is Shadow Walrein. Trying to get to a move, Snorlax is able to reach a Body Slam just before they go down. This is nice because this should put it into counter plus drill run range for Escavalier. Unfortunately, with no shields left, Escavalier has no way to protect itself from the Earthquake, but they should be able to outpace before the opponent gets to a second charge move here. Escavalier able to reach the drill run. Unfortunately, that Swampert still does have some health left. Are they going to be able to counter it down in time? It's looking too healthy. They're going to have to try and catch, and they're able to catch onto Nidoking. What a catch, and that is going to clinch the game. Escavalier able to farm down, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, and we have the Battle of Royalty, Nidoking versus Nidoqueen. They will both reach Earth Power at the same time, but Nidoking has the higher attack stat, so it will always win CMP. Going for the Earth Power, it does get shielded, and now having to shield back, and the opponent didn't bait either. That is massive. So they are still on even energy. Nidoking, again, going to be able to win the CMP tie, and you just have to hope that the opponent tries to call the bait, which they do, and they go down. They bring in Wall Rain, safe switch Escav, and they're able to bait out a counter user in Surfetched. Definitely nice to bait out the Surfetched, so that way the Shadow Snorlax will not have to see it. And since Shadow Snorlax has superpower, if you can get shields down, Shadow Snorlax should be able to clean up the Wall Rain in the back. The Surfetched, overfarming a ton, tried to go for the farm down. They fall short, and they are going to lose a ton of energy as they go down to the Drill Run. Wall Rain able to Powder Snow down, but at this point, this game is over as the lick damage plus a Shadow superpower is going to be enough to take out the Wall Rain. Wall Rain is going to be able to reach a few charge moves in the meantime, but at this point, they can safely overfarm into superpower range, go for the superpower, and get the KO. So they will commit the shield, overfarming quite a bit, trying to get as much lick damage as possible before they debuff themselves. Superpower takes out the Wall Rain, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Nidoking into Darmanitan. The opponent is a Spice Lord as well. Let's go. Darmanitan, a very, very cool pick. And now going to be going for the Sand Tomb. Sand Tomb does get the shield. Darmanitan kind of has to shield everything. This could be the Overheat. They shield it up, and it's the Overheat. That was a great shield. The opponent has Trevenant, and the Trevenant is hard punished by Shadow Snorlax. These licks will absolutely tear through Trevenant, whereas Trevenant's Shadow Claws are double resisted, and they're forced to go for Seed Bomb, which is definitely their weaker of the two charge moves. Going for Seed Bomb number 2, Shadow Snorlax will have to throw some energy just so they don't have to commit a shield, and if at all possible, you don't want to commit a shield in this matchup, because Darmanitan, with a shield advantage, is incredibly scary in the end game. Going for the Body Slam. Body Slam takes out Trevenant, and they have Shadow Kanto Muck in the back. So honestly, their team is fairly weak overall to Nidoking, which is pretty nice. And as well, they have Escavalier. They bring in Darmanitan, switching back into the Nidoking, and unfortunately they lose CMP. That is not great. I think it's just the Rock Slide. It is just the Rock Slide there, but losing CMP there is quite unfortunate because you kind of have to keep that Nidoking alive, because if that Nidoking goes down, the poor Escavalier is getting absolutely incinerated into oblivion. Nidoking able to get the final shield with the Sand Tomb, and this game is long over. Escavalier is easily able to survive a Shadow Dark Pulse if they're able to get there, which they are. That is an easy survive right there. Escavalier reaching the Drill Run, and even without the debuff, that would be more than enough to KO, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Nidoking into Trevenant. Again, one of the matchups where it would be nice to have a bit of coverage on the charge moves, but thankfully, Poison Jab will hit for neutral, and if you can get a couple Sand Tombs going, these Poison Jabs are going to start absolutely shredding through Trevenant. This could be the Shadow Ball. They shield up, and they get baited. That is really unfortunate. Nidoking putting in some work with the Poison Jabs, goes for the catch, but it's a simultaneous switch. Shadow Snorlax into Purified Snorlax. You typically don't want to be the first one to throw in the mirror, farming up, letting the opponent go first, but the opponent wisely goes Body Slam so they don't debuff themselves. And now the Shadow Snorlax going for the back-to-back superpowers. First one gets them below half, but this second one I don't think is going to KO. It's going to be close. Doesn't KO, the opposing Snorlax reaches a move, and at this point you just have to let this go. I don't think you can give up that second shield. They go down, and now I think you bring back in Nidoking. Get some energy on it. They do get energy on the Nidoking. In comes Trevenant, and they're going for the Earth Power. I think this is going to KO. Come on. It lands, it KOs, and the final Pokemon is Ampharos. Oh my goodness. The opponent was lulled into a false sense of security with the Sand Tombs, but that Earth Power connected, taking him out, and now that Ampharos has nowhere to run. Going to commit the shield, and the Ampharos is actually running double electric. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping to the next match, we have another battle of the royalty, Nidoking versus Nidoqueen, with Nidoking looking to take back the crown. No baits here, going straight for the Earth Power, hoping for the no shield. Gets the no shield, and that almost takes out the Queen. From here, you can very safely shield up and commit to the farm down, but the opponent does not want the farm down as they save switch into Porygon Z. The thing to watch for here is Zap Cannon does a ton of damage, shields last second, and it's the Zap Cannon. So Zap Cannon will guaranteed lower the attack, but thankfully was shielded. Going for the Drill Run. Drill Run does not KO. Oh, but this should just be the Tri Attack. Porygon is fast. It's not that fast. Is just the Tri Attack and able to farm down, but down 2 shields, which is a little scary. The final Pokemon ends up being Trevenant, and this is exactly what you want to see with a Shadow Snorlax in the back. Able to get the shield with the Mega Horn, aggressive switch into Nidoking, and now just going to be going for the Sand Tomb. May as well debuff their defense and do as much Poison Jab damage as you can. They're going to have to throw a Shadow Ball here if they want to take it out. Shadow Ball plus 1 Shadow Claw does take it out. From here, you just wait the switch clock, you bring in the Shadow Snorlax, and you're in a really comfortable position as you're going to be able to lick all the way down before they're able to reach 3 Seed Bombs. And honestly, their remaining Pokemon, the Nidoqueen, is so low that it gets licked down as well. And yep, at this point, this game is over. Able to reach the back-to-back body slams. And Shadow Snorlax able to close strong. They actually bring in Escavalier just to force some energy, just to guarantee it. They're forced to go for the Shadow Ball there. Snorlax comes back in, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Nidoking into Obstagoon. Always nice to catch the counter user on the lead, so that way Shadow Snorlax is not going to have to face it in the end game. Nidoking easily tanks the Night Slash, and instead of going for the Earth Power, actually opting to go for the Sand Tomb, wanting to start to ramp up those Poison Jabs. Poison Jabs starting to do more and more damage, as Nidoking is going to be able to safely survive the second Night Slash. The opponent actually gets the boost, and now going to be going for the kill shot with the Earth Power, needing them to no shield, which they actually do. Oh my goodness, that might be the first time I've ever seen a boosted Obstagoon no shield, but you know what? We will take that. Escavalier can survive an Earthquake here. Earthquake would do a solid chunk of damage. They shield up and they don't get baited, which is quite nice. And unfortunately for the opponent, Escavalier is a massive core breaker for their team, as Escavalier is going to wreak absolute havoc on their backline. Has so much energy already, launching Drill Run after Drill Run, and now you just bring in the Shadow Snorlax basically just to absorb damage, and this game is already over. Going to let that Poison Fang through. Honestly, I would let the second one through as well. At this point, Escavalier is the win con, so you can just let this go. Not worried about it whatsoever. Able to lick down the Nidoqueen, and now leaving with quite a lot of energy, going for the Body Slam bait. Thinking that they are going to be shielding, does get the shield and able to get the superpower, but Walrein is able to reach a move. At this point, you just shield this up. You have the guaranteed superpower, and this is going to be securing the KO versus the Walrein, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Nidoking into Walrein, absolutely terrible lead, save switches into the Shadow Snorlax, and is punished by Escavalier. So far, things are not looking good. Lost lead, punished on the swap, and unfortunately, the 2 Pokemon we've seen from the opponent both do extremely well against Nidoking. Going to let the Snorlax go down, Escavalier goes for the Mega Horn, and now going for the farm down with their own Escav, which they're able to get. So getting a bit of an energy lead, which is nice, but the opponent has Shadow Swampert. Farming up a ton, you kind of have to shield this. Shadow Hydro Cannon does so much damage, but the Escav with this energy lead should be able to output quite a lot of pressure onto the Shadow Swampert. Able to get the shield. Unfortunately, they get to a second move. And at this point, I mean, the Nidoking has no use in this match, unfortunately. I think you just have to try and catch at some point, bait back out the Walrein to farm it down. I think that's the win con here. Switches into the Nidoking, not able to catch, and back in comes the Walrein, trying to get to the Earth Power, but they're not able to get there. This Icicle Spear should not KO. Nidoking able to hold on and reach the Earth Power. Now the question is, can they get it into farm down range? Earth Power connects and does some pretty big damage, and the opponent panic throws. Oh my goodness, there is a chance. The opponent needed to commit to the farm down. They did not. They get to a move, but this is just an Icicle Spear. The opponent made a huge miscalculation there. Icicle Spear is not enough, and now they have 2 drill runs loaded. So despite the opponent having triple Nidoking counters, able to fight back against the odds, and that is a good game. All in all, I was pretty impressed seeing Nidoking in action. I know most of the hype is typically around Nidoqueen since it does have access to Poison Fang. Poison Fang, of course, being a better move overall than Sand Tomb. But Nidoking performed surprisingly well and is a pretty nice off-meta pick, especially with a lot of poison types running around and a lot of fighters. It has some really nice coverage against both, and with that higher attack stat, it can really output a lot of damage as well. So honestly, maybe it's time for us to not sleep on Nidoking so much. Nidoking might be coming for the throne. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And we have finally released merch. I will have a link in the description to our merch store. Definitely go check it out. We've got some really cool stuff in there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.